Hello friends, we have already seen three problems faced by the vernaculars or native languages during the Renaissance. First one was that of recognition, second was orthography, and third enrichment. All through the Middle Ages, Latin had a scholarly monopoly. Latin had a scholarly supremacy. So what happened is, like a huge tree, it suppressed all the small trees that were trying to grow beneath it. The vernaculars were like that. All the modern books on subjects like philosophy, theology, medicine and so on, astronomy, these were written either in Latin or Greek. We have seen now one of the points we saw is that Latin had a universal currency. People who travel across Europe, they could easily understand if they knew and communicate if they knew Latin and Greek. That was the situation. Now all of a sudden, like you get up from sleep, all of a sudden you find a new age, that is Renaissance. And the people had great demands in sharing the fruits of Renaissance. So translators worked overnight, but the language is not rich enough. Inadequacy of the language. When you are not rich, what will you do? You will borrow. So that's what the language also did. English enriched itself by seven ways. The first one is direct borrowings. Direct borrowings from Latin. Because it was a very rich language, no doubt. So directly borrow. Some words they took and they borrowed and used it. Understand? Direct, without any change. Then second was, of course, adaptation. Adaptation. Adaptation means slightly changing. One example I will tell you, exotic. The Latin original was exoticus. So this is cutting the ending. Then you have got exotic. Exotica. That is the trade name of a powder, exotica. Like Kutikura and so on. Okay. The third is borrowing from Roman language, so Romance language. Romance language means French and Italian and Spanish. Examples etc. will follow, then I am just now introducing this thing. And the fourth is reintroduction of old words. Reintroduction of old forgotten words. For example, English had a word fastidious. Now we have got fastidious now. Fastidious. Now in 1440, fastidious. The meaning of that word was something. It has a negative meaning. Fastidious. And in 16th century, again it was used. Means hard to please. Hard to please. So reintroduction of old words. So the negative meaning. I continued with the negative meaning, but with a different meaning. Fastidious. Now what is fastidious means? Now it means we can say like this. A person fastidious about dress means he will stand in front of the mirror and then do all kinds of small final touches etc. And then there is a sprayer also. Sorry. And then the fifth way, of course, was revival of old words. Revival. This is reintroduction means same word but with a different meaning. Same word but different meaning. Revival, say for example, there was a word villere. 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 Means where before. Where before. Now it is not used. Villere was an old forgotten word, but they started using it. And new words were coined. 5-6 coinages. Like rizzled. An example, rizzled means wrinkled. But now we don't use it. W-R-I-Z-Z-L-E-D, rizzled. it is not, it means wrinkle, but now it is not used. And the seventh one is freak words, freak words. Words made for the sake of fun. Shakespeare does this. In the bottom, when bottom speaks, he says, comparisons are odorous. Instead of comparisons are odious. That is. So then, these were the 7 days. Now, these Latin words, they had a very, they were rich in meaning and also they had associated meanings and so on. Associated meaning. For example, if you have a word like this, amo. Amo is a Latin word. You have got words from this amicable, then amiable, and so on. Because the basic meaning is love. There's a word in English, in Latin, amicus. Amicus means friend. So again, the root comes from here. So you have got different meanings you can derive from Latin. Latin words were like that. And so these were some of the ways by which they enriched English language. Understand? 7 ways. The result that by, say, towards the end of the 16th century, 12,000 new words were listed in the Oxford Dictionary of English Language. Understand? That it was Englishmen felt that, so their patriotic duty, so to say, to liberate English from the charge of inadequacy and inelegance. These were the 2 charges leveled against English: inadequacy and inelegance. You can take down these two keywords: inelegance. So this was the Englishmen considered their duty to liberate. So what happened is, by 16th and 17th centuries, thousands of words were borrowed to enrich the language. So that's about enrichment. Now this movement for enrichment was not that easy. There are 2 groups of scholars. One group, they were purists. Purists. They wanted pure English words. They said these new words are all obscure, strange figures. We don't want so many strange people in our language. See that? So there were purists and there were defenders. Defenders of these new words. The purists then gave a nickname to these new words. They called these new words inkhorn terms. Inkhorn terms. Inkhorn terms. So what is this inkhorn terms? Inkhorn terms means it's a nickname. Nickname given to you, students give nickname to teachers. So they give a nickname to words like this. So the purists are liberals or defenders, you can say. Among the purists you have Thomas Eliot. And Sir John Chuck. We met him there in spelling, isn't it? Sir John Chuck. They were purists. They said that in his Thomas Wilson, there was another person, Thomas Wilson. In his art of rhetoric, Thomas Wilson, in his art of rhetoric, scathingly attacked, fiercely attacked, we can say. There is a savage attack on these new words. That means these borrowed words. Understand? They said these are dark words, obscure words, and ordinary people cannot understand. That was the charge. But against this you had the defenders. Among the defenders, of course, you had got the moderate, the person that is Richard Mulcaster. Richard Mulcaster, that was one. And secondly, you have got Other moderates you have got blocker, remember blocker. Yes, blocker. And the third one you had, these names are important because this is Dryden names. Dryden, yes, that's a great. He said words of imagination and splendor, that's what it is. Dryden. Dryden said these new words are words of imagination and splendor. Shakespeare was a very, very liberal in borrowing. Words like multitudinous. So they're directly taken from Latin, multitudinous. See, et brute, and you Brutus. So words like that. So then you have got in Julius Caesar, Putnam, another person. Putnam. So that is. Of this, I think Dryden is you can quote him. Dryden said words of imagination. Then Putnam, he said he warned these people against, means he supported the borrowings. And then he gave a list of very good words. For example, he said the scientific, major domo. See, scientific. He said the example that he gave. Major domo. A few examples I am just giving you as a way of introduction. Compendius, significative. That is today you have significant. Compendius, and so on. So he used this. These new words were used by. And that was Chapman, famous one, who translated Homer. Chapman, who translated Homer. So he also he said his translation of Homer he defended, and he said these are learned borrowings and people should, for popular interest, you should accept this. So that is how this controversy over the borrowings came to an end. So today we discussed enrichment, mainly borrowings we saw, then borrowings direct, borrowings from Romance language, by adaptation, by reintroduction, by revival, by coinage, by freak, by contribution by Greek authors, say like Chaucer, and so not Chaucer in this period, but Shakespeare and Holinshed. We saw him, the translator, the great Elizabethan translator. It is said that he himself contributed about 29,000 new words. New words, please don't think that he created or he coined new 29,000 words, but he used these 29,000 words in his translations maybe by reviving old words or using old words in a new sense and so on. So anyhow, what happened is that Englishmen felt it was their patriotic duty. So two things you should remember when you are thinking about this borrowings and enrichment, and that is first, the scholarly monopoly of Latin language. Then the inadequacy of vernaculars. And third, patriotism of English people. Fourth, revival of learning and the great desire to participate in it, to share in the fruits of Renaissance. And fifth, the ways by which English enrich the language. And sixth, there is a debate, a controversy over the new words. The charge they are leveled against these new words, they are obscure and dark. People cannot understand it. We don't want so many strange people. So then you can see the scholars, they were divided. Finally, a compromise formula was made, and according to the compromise formula, so like Chapman and Putnam, they said, there's nothing wrong in borrowing learned words. Say in translating Homer, Chapman uses many foreign words, say borrowed directly from Latin and Greek. Then therefore, when great men like Chapman and Putnam and Richard Malcasto, then they intervened. What happened is that this controversy came almost to an end. And we saw Dryden, what did Dryden say? Dryden said, these are words of imagination and splendor. At least that much you should be able to remember. These new words, in defense of these new words, Dryden said, these are words of imagination and splendor. I hope that you have been following me. This lecture has one more part that we will see later. So till we see again. For the time being, bye. Have a nice time. Enjoy your life. Sorry for this cough. The cough probably might have disturbed you a little, but don't mind. Sorry. It's all as we say in Hindi, no, chalega. Isn't it? These things, you don't worry about these things. So therefore, I hope that you will take in a sporty spirit. So I hope that you have been enjoying these lectures and are beneficial to you. So till we see again, bye. Have a nice time.